Okay. And the scene opens this evening. Again, obviously, new serum. We haven't changed. In Stefan's apartment. He's getting a particular piece of very finely carved, very heavy ashtray placed into a box with some packing materials inside of it. Maybe bubble wrap, tissue paper, things like that. He's just putting the finishing touches on it and picks up his phone and pulls up a number for Thomas. At the moment that he looks at his phone, he catches a glimpse of the little jewel that he carved. Takes in the heart shape. Huh. Grabbing his multi-tool, placing it in his pocket. Mostly out of habit, but you never know when you need something. Keys, places his wallet in a shirt pocket underneath his hoodie, and decides to takes a small piece of cloth, wrapping the carved crystal gem in it very carefully, and places that into another pants pocket, and then hits or goes to dial his Nosferatu contact.
On his way back from his sister in the Blood Mort, Thomas is walking the many alleyways and streets of the project. He feels a vibrating sensation in his pocket and remembers that he put his phone on silent. There had been an unknown caller earlier that evening when he was a little preoccupied with other illegal activities. He looks at the name of the contact on his phone, presses, holds the phone to his ear. Hello, Stefan?
Yeah, Thomas. I've been quite busy as of recent, but I wanted to tell you that I have that piece already.
Oh, you made my ashtray?
Yeah, more than just an ashtray. You will see. You may see irony that I showed to you.
Looking forward to it. Well, since you're into art, Stefan, how about we choose another meeting place this time? Are you familiar with the projects at all? Well, with the various buildings in there.
You mean downtown, right?
Yeah, downtown.
I am familiar with parts of downtown. It is a big city after all.
There's a big building called the Four-Lane Theater. It used to be a
Four-lane theater.
yeah. It's a theater that has fallen into disrepair, and the new Serum City Council didn't really see it fit too much to pump any money into it. So it's still there. Not many people come there. And well, the only people that go there are either youngsters who are hoping to get stones or just people who are looking for shelter. But since they boarded it up, not much people are coming there anymore. It would make a good meeting place. And you would probably appreciate a place like that.
Where is this theater?
Um, hmm. Well, you know the line between downtown and Little Italy?
Yeah, quite familiar. This is that area.
It's a little hidden in a hidden corner, despite being a theater or something. You can recognize the front of it. There's still some lettering on it. However, that is boarded up. I'll be waiting for you in the side alley. There's a a fire or an emergency exit that can lend us passage.
What
So,
is it close to?
um, let's see. Quite a big apartment complex or like social housing.
Okay. I know the place. Not fairly close. Fairly close, more to the edge of downtown and the industrial district.
Yeah.
Quite familiar.
Hmm.
Yeah. North of the homeless shelter, I believe,
Yes.
and east of the hospital.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I will be on my way. I should be there shortly.
I'll be waiting for you.
Will do. Hangs up. And grabbing the package, heading out the door, locking it behind him. Stefan begins walking down the street, crossing the street from where the diner is to the other side, and looks around for a cab to flag down. So let's go with chance die. No, actually, I want to. Hey, is that actually gonna? Okay. It takes him a while. Stefan ends up walking, for a couple blocks, and then eventually coming onto the third city block. He flags a cab down and takes that to outside the 4-lane theater. Doesn't take too long from where he catches it, actually. Matter of 10-15 minutes. There's a taxi that pulls up in front of the place. Stefan pays the man $7 for the short trip and gets out of the cab, taking in the scene as the driver pulls away. Oh, indeed. An actual theater. And begins to walk around around to the left side of the building, or I'm sorry, around the right side of the building to the alleyway.
As you're making your way deeper into the alley, you're going to see an emergency exit door with a familiar figure leaning against the wall next to it. As he turns his head towards you, you can visibly see the right side of his face that you've pretty much grown used to by now. Throws away the remnants of his cigarette.
Ah, it lands down, coming a little close. Stefan just kind of looks at it, and doesn't faze him, and walks up the stairway up the fire escape. Tomas,
Good evening.
how have you been doing?
I have been well. How about yourself?
A little bit better, but still quite a bit of confusion after that Ventro meeting.
Understandable.
Fucking Ventro. I digress. I apologize. Well, let us go inside and see this wonderful building.
Yeah. As he turns towards the door, he just pushes the latch. It's not locked or anything. Presses it open. Puts on pulls a miniature flashlight from his pocket. Kind of guides the way. And it's not long before you come into the main hall, basically, and you are greeted by this view. Various seats are fallen into disrepair. There's graffiti littering most of the walls. There's trash all over the place. There's cigarette butts. There's basically every amount or every sort of decay you can think of in this place, but it still breathes the atmosphere of movie theaters in general. This is a place that has thrived. This is a place that has lived.
Yeah. Is there any form of ventilation?
There's ventilation shafts on the ceiling, various pipes covered in cobwebs and old dust.
Cool. As Stefan's walking through, he's gonna kind of start looking around, see if he can find. He doesn't find exactly what he's looking for, but he does end up spotting something just as he's as he approaches the open doorway into the actual theater from the entry hall, presumably. Sees an old program that's actually still legible and not water damaged or torn or burnt. A program for a rendition of Henry V. Hey, Tomas.
Thomas had been standing in the doorway and kind of looking what your reaction would be, and cocks his head in surprise. Yes, Stephen, what?
Have you ever seen any theater?
In my native language, yes. Various renditions of Cats, Hamlet, Macbeth.
Henry V?
Not really, no. Could you refresh my memory?
This is a program, and he begins looking through the program. Pretty big thing, actually, and it's like a a 10-page program, and he reads off a description of the second act, or second scene, like third act. Apparently, this was done. Oh, good God! 1984.
1984. That's a long time ago.
He takes it and slides it into the front pocket of his hoodie. Perhaps we can find some kind of metal garbage can and some things to create a light in the theater.
Yeah, why not?
As the two begin looking around, I'm going to roll a chance die. You can do the same thing.
Yep.
I hate when it doesn't work. Okay. Oh! Well, this time around, I begin. I find a little metal garbage can, luckily. Kind of beaten up. And kind of set it by the door, waiting around for Thomas.
Thomas looks around the theater for a minute. He's been here various times, just not in any company whatsoever, and walks to the west side of the building and kind of pulls one of the boards loose from one of the windows, letting the street light shine through. It's not much, but it beats the. It's a little brighter now. It's not much, but it'll have to do. I still have my flashlight.
Stefan looks around, ends up finding some other various papers and even a few loose bits of wood. Because people have been squatting here, and various things have been brought in. Begins to walk in down the aisle between both sections of seating towards the front, and starts fiddling with something in a let's say 4-foot tall garbage can. Not too big, not too small, and begins he stops for moments and it's like he's arranging something inside of it, and shakes it, eventually getting up to the front row, places it in between. Would you happen to have the lighter?
I do.
Let's see how this works. At least it's metal. Ting, ting, ting.
Thomas procures his trusty Zippo lighter from his pocket.
The careful work of kindred lighting fires. Oh, shit. If we're standing too close, we're going to have to make courage rolls.
Yep.
Okay. I'm a little uneasy, but I keep it together.
Thomas winces for a moment as well, but being a chain smoker, both in the mortal life and in kindred life, he winces for a second, but regains his composure rather quickly.
Oh, well, that is the first time I have lit a garbage can bonfire in a building. And takes a seat in the left front row. Says, well, starts opening the box that he was carrying.
Thomas takes a seat next to you and kind of, in a very relaxed gesture, throws both legs on the seats in front of him.
Oh, sitting in the second row. Okay, cool. You see him pull out, setting the box down on the seat that your feet are actually on the back of.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls out. Presumably, it's fairly heavy, and then he begins to unwrap the ashtray. And as you see it, you see the familiar sight. It looks like a manhole cover that is it's slightly bent up, so it's not like a bowl like this.
Yep.
It's kind of like this, slight conclave with where my thumb is. It goes from that slight bowling to straight up and down, and it has 3 notches, presumably for three cigarette ends to be sitting. And it looks like a manhole cover. It has the look. It has the texture. It's carved of a grayish stone, grayish, maybe blackish, with hints of green all the way around the inside of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl, and it's got 3 feet that are basically staggered from the notches in the top of the ashtray. And as he tilts it towards you, you see that the centerpiece, one side, it looks like a classic, theater mask.
Mm-hmm.
One side is black, but it's reflective, with hints of green, and the green tends to, in the light, it kind of illuminates that side. The other half is white, and it's pearlescent whenever the light hits it.
As you're showing him this, Thomas smiles, but this time it's a very toothy grin. And as he does so, you notice that on the right side of his face, his teeth don't look very healthy. They've taken on pretty much the sickly appearance of the entire right side of his body. On the other side, however, his teeth are not necessarily pearly white, but they don't really look as bad either. Stefan, this looks beautiful. I'm almost going to feel sorry for using this.
No, it should be used. It would make an excellent conversation piece in your underground home.
That's true.
And besides, no matter where any of us live, we should all have something that is rich. And he kind of hands you the ashtray. It's about, let me get a proper idea of dimension so I can give this to you. It's about 7 inches across.
Yep.
And from the center of the bowl to the edge, it's about 2 inches deep. So that gives you an idea that the bowl shape, the sides are not that steep. They're actually fairly shallow. And it weighs 5 pounds. So yeah, it's a heavy ashtray.
Tom looks surprised at the heaviness and the thickness of the ashtray. Takes another good look at it and glances again towards you as if he's a kid in a candy store. He's visibly very content with whatever you just gave it, with what you just gave him.
It is not the first time I have carved something that is representative.
I can tell.
So, and he hands you the box with the packing material in it, sets it, kind of leans back and sets it on the seat. So you can get it back home without breaking it, even though it is made of granite.
Oh, I'm going to take real good care of this.
I carved that piece of granite off of a portion of out of a jut of rock at Shell Beach, actually.
Oh, so you kind of took what nature gave you and made something out of it?
Yeah, is where stone comes from anyway, so
That is true.
what is the harm in taking a little something? And I still have the other half of the 10-pound chunk that I carved off. That was quite an interesting night. Probably not as interesting as the nights that I cannot remember.
Yeah.
Or at least
Thomas
not
kind of swings his leg over the chair and takes a seat next to you. Does the same again with his legs. It's kind of a habit.
So, since I gave you that bit of information post meeting this that Ventru bastard, well, let's not call him a bastard. That's creepy Ventru.
Yes.
Very uneasy individual. Have you pursued anything with such information?
Well, my superiors are rather hard to reach. Well, with the situation of our unwelcome guests still in the city, they're rather preoccupied.
Interesting. The general state of the city affairs on our end are they haven't gotten worse, have they?
Not that I know of. It's been rather calm these last days.
To go from a quite a loud storm to all of a sudden dead quiet.
Yeah. Silence before the storm, I suppose.
And after,
Yeah.
that is unusual. Yeah. I have been I've been trying to mentally plan a trip back to New York, a short one,
Going back home? Well,
for a visit.
second home.
Yes, for a visit. Uh, Also, there's something that I need to try and find. Something I have not seen in years. If you ever wondered just how I became as good as I am when it comes to sculpture, which admittedly is nothing more than a coping device for the ailment.
Oh, so you haven't. Well, I always assumed that you had kind of a formation in it. You did art school or something? Or you just had a natural knack for it?
University in Vayu. But while I was there, I came across, well, I don't know if you've ever heard, people say, oh, little hidden secrets around university campuses, things like that, right? If you find them, keep them secret.
Kind of like illustrious handbooks for students in order to get laid or something?
I suppose that would work. It is part of the university atmosphere. I came across a rather inspiring, very old book which detailed various sculpting techniques, 16th century actually.
Interesting. It's a little
That
off for a university library, you know? Such an old book.
it was underneath a board that was slightly out of place.
Ah,
The bottom of one of the bookshelves, and it was wrapped in canvas.
mhm. In
In
order for it to stop deteriorating any further or aging.
yeah, yeah. The paper was extremely high quality and quite a bit thicker, but that is what I was thinking about doing, but I'm hesitant. In order to do this, I'm going to have to get in contact with a Tremere that I have been doing business with, art business.
Art business. Hmm. Well, the
Yeah.
only Tremere I know is goes by the name of Styx.
That brings me to a good point. I have heard of this. Does he prefer Styx or Cameron?
Oh, you do know his real name as well.
So, oh, Axel, I believe, yes.
Hmm.
Exactly what kind of individual is he? What kind of man is he?
Styx? Oh, I only met him like twice, I suppose. He's well, in comparison to his clanmates, he's probably less regal, or if you would see him, you wouldn't really associate him with Clan Tremere. He wears very baggy clothes, wears a baseball hat or baseball cap. Uh, doesn't really look all that old yet. Looks about late teens, early 20s.
Baggy clothing and baseball caps.
Yeah.
Sad. Oh, not unlike uh, people, younger people. Remember seeing not just in the Saturn, but also in New York. Um, oh, hip. What is how you say it? Hip hopsters.
Yes. Hip hoppers, kind of like
Ah,
that style of fashion.
yeah, young urbanite apparel.
Yes.
Is he the type of person that would have a lot to hide, more than most, not just mortals, but of us.
Well, he is Tremere. I suppose he does. Although I'm not sure. He hasn't really talked very openly about personal life whatsoever. He's always been very business minded, or kind of, you know,
Hmm,
not letting other people look into his cards too much, playing his cards close to his chest.
interesting. There's still something on my mind from that giant meeting we had, or should I call it giant travesty, that Styx arranged.
I've heard
Regard-
about that meeting, though I wasn't present at it. However, one of my clanmates was.
It was interesting to see that giant red man again.
Yeah,
His name is Red, or his nickname anyway. Yes,
we all
was
know what I
interesting.
read.
He was a good lookout, definitely. But from that meeting, it left me wondering. I went from getting caught up in all of the rabulous talk to, well, having another one of these Tremere, not sticks.
Hmm.
A another one-eyed man. Heavy scars. I cannot,
Another one-eyed man.
if I caught his name, but I kind of stopped and let reason sink in a little bit, and it occurred to me that none of us know, except for maybe one of the first three who encountered those creatures.
Hmm.
Which apparently the first meeting was between Styx, Damien Black, and this gangrel named Zack.
Oh, I know Zach.
He is quite the bolsterous bragger.
Well, a dog's bark or a dog's bite is only as strong as his bite, I suppose.
And that is one dog that needs to keep his claws hidden.
Oh, he's eager to show off his clan's proficiency with manicures.
Yeah. Well, what wasn't known, what wasn't answered, was what brought them to discover this creature. They said that they encountered it in an alleyway, but I find it hard to believe that they just walked down an alleyway and saw a random offshoot alley
Hmm.
with this thing eating. Something had to have drawn them to it. But
So basically, you're referring to what the first meeting, or kind of the instance where they came across this creature.
the first encounter.
Hmm.
The second encounter, I found out that one of the Tremere higher ups, possibly somebody who I'm trying to remember. I believe it might have been somebody that has dealings with the sheriff
Count.
and a bunch of other neonates. I'm assuming took they had a second encounter with this creature at a construction site.
Indeed, they
There's a
managed to take it down, and the creature was finished off by a firing squad.
yeah. Well, that first meeting is what really concerns me because more how did say these three make this discovery? How exactly? What was the reason why any of us struck out against them and killed one? This I have not gotten an answer to yet.
Hmm.
And Styx was quite well. I don't while I don't hold it against somebody to keep secrets. That is not something that needs to be kept secret. That is something that needs to be known, lest we all make a giant mistake, which at this point my fears are not realized. Luckily.
Thomas nods and understanding, pauses for a second as if he's mulling it all around in his mind again, trying to look for words. Hmm. Well, what we do know is that there were four kindred present at the second meeting, right?
Okay.
One of which was an unnamed Tremere. Rumors are that he or she or whatever gender they have is a hound, so she works directly under the sheriff.
That sounds familiar.
Second is the one you mentioned before, this Zach character,
Okay.
which I have met on 2 occasions. Doesn't tend to stick to the city too much. Suppose if you want to talk to him, you look him out near the forest or
He's
whatever
quite
nature reserve.
thrill seeker. I
Yeah.
remember I've met him twice as well. The first time was at the Emerald Scorpion. He was looking for a bit of excitement
Hmm.
and beer.
Yeah. Here. Oh, he's able to imbibe?
He is strangely, but it was quite exciting. I actually got up and did a bit of dancing. I was inspired by him.
Hmm. Well, as long as we have fun, I suppose.
That was fun.
Uh, Third member is someone we have mentioned before as well. Red was present as well.
I gathered that much.
And then there was a fourth person, however, I didn't get any name nor clan.
A description?
No.
No, a description of his appearance, perhaps, maybe.
Something about something with a K. K. Thomas rubs his temple. K was a short name. It wasn't really a name you hear very often. It's not like a first name. K. Joe?
Not familiar with this. Curious.
So, I mean, not sure how much information they would be able to give you, but if there are people who would be able to give you more details on a constitution or whatever it is, these creatures act like up close and personal, it would be those three at least. Wouldn't really see the Tremere as being too accessible. So, which leaves you with either Zach or Red.
Yeah. Well, and from our meeting at the that dockside warehouse, one of yours, I believe, Probo,
Yeah.
probably knows quite a bit. So between Probo and Styx, I believe, there is quite a lot of information. Have you seen Damien Black around? He has been quite absent. I
I
haven't.
haven't seen him. We don't really frequent the establishment he goes to or works at all that much.
I know what you mean. It may look okay on the outside and for the most part, but when you look at the details, that third floor is quite dingy and has an odd smell about it. And then
Last time I went there, he wasn't present or he wasn't doing his shift whatsoever, so we were basically alone.
Curious. Although this is a nice meeting place.
Yeah. And now
Gives
you know about it as well.
gives me ideas. If only I could afford to buy it, I would. I think it would make a wonderful establishment for us, for our kind.
Hmm.
That
That
would
would
be
be
a hell of a boon.
enjoyable. But
As far as looking for Mr. Warner, I do have to get in contact with the man that pointed me in the direction which brought me to speaking with Oleg and also meeting with a Kai Jones. Quite an interesting man.
this Phil Vasquez or
Phil Vasquez, yeah, Toreador.
hmm
As you told me. Found
yes.
out he is a bartender.
hmm
Yes, I must get in contact with him to pay him for the information properly. As this is why Mr. Warner, this is how he knew Mr. Vasquez. They were colleagues. Nothing more than colleagues, I'm assuming,
That's odd.
in the
I see.
information trade. So there are Toreador that practice this particular thing.
Hmm. I had been told that they got along very well.
They did, but Phil Vasquez, he he seemed to downplay it a bit.
hmm
Don't exactly know why, but um, as far as the thing that led him to leave the city, some kind of slight toward Oleg. Oleg tried to downplay it, but he did not cover up that false truth
hmm
very well. As far as trying to find him, if your sire, I'm assuming, you probably told him it is customary for Camarilla Canites or kindred to do. Your Primogen, I'm assuming he's probably been thrown in the loop.
Uh, yes, they have.
Was that a bullshit roll?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make a perception empathy because I'm a little alert. Oh, 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 shit. Well, it's just a fail. It's just a fail. Wow. Yes, Thomas has been practicing his bullshit. Um, yeah. Okay. Um. Well, it would take trying to procure um, um, transportation up to Portland, Maine. But how interested are you in actually finding him, even if
Well,
it requires personal touches?
I didn't really know him all too well. still, he is family, and family has to be looked after. Uh, I will run it by my family members, or propose it to my family members. But if they would be all right with it, or if they would give me permission, I would gladly accompany you to Portland.
Well, it would actually be the other way around.
You would be
I've done
accompanying me.
I've done my direct point, but I figure since we are both quite gifted in ways of staying hidden
Hmm.
and both quite observant,
Yes.
it would probably well, and I am aware of what he does, so it would give us some insight into where to possibly look
Hmm.
for him, places where information is traded. I'm
Indeed.
not as familiar with this type of stuff, but if I hear something, it will trigger what I know. Um, Obviously, traveling in our condition is not easy.
No, it is not.
It's not like we can go to the local Greyhound and catch a bus, unless
Are
we
you
want.
able to drive a car by any chance?
I have never actually gotten a license in all of my years.
Well,
You know how it is. You live in New York, you use taxis, you use the subway, you walk. Um,
if push comes to shove, I can drive us. It's been a while since I have driven a car, and I don't really, well, I don't exactly look like the person on my driver's license anymore, but I can get us there.
Interesting. Well, if if the rest of the underdwellers are not opposed to this, then yeah, yeah. And of course, I can safely say that the more the merrier. And it occurs to me that red would make quite the interesting chip
Hmm.
to put on the table, given his physical nature.
Oh, yes.
So he may be valuable as far as keeping people in line who think that they can bully through brute force.
That is true.
Excellent, excellent. Well, oh crap! I have 30 minutes to get to work. However,
Probably.
is the place I work is not entirely innocent of kindred presence.
Oh,
I do work for another. He manages it at night. You should stop by. The last resort. You can accompany me there. There is a back entrance. Go to the alleyway.
okay.
You will see it, and you'll notice a door that has what is it? It says last resort. The last resort.
Mhm.
Employees only. Loading.
Yeah. Place where everything gets delivered when it comes to drinks and everything.
Yeah, I will open the door once I am there and on shift, and the other bartender is off for the night. The
Interesting.
other thing is the kindred manager is probably not going to be there either.
Hmm.
So I figure we wait until 2 a.m. and then hang out for a bit. Maybe you can at least, see if you still have a taste for beer, not imbibing, just tasting.
Is there any scotch by any chance, or any bourbon?
There are actually some bourbons and scotch. some of the more expensive stuff, but I can show you a nifty trick to to allow you to taste without leaving blood in your glass.
Then, well, I suppose we go. This place, if you ever want to come here again, I mean, you're free to do so.
Yeah.
Or if you ever want to meet here again, I mean, just let me know. It's here to be used, I suppose.
I'm going to keep it a bit under the table. Too many people knowing about this. Not good.
And if it would be ever necessary, and he points at one of the speakers. That speaker box has been known as a drop-off point.
The speaker on the edge of the stage.
Mhm.
Interesting. So using this as a mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
4-lane theater mail service.
Yeah.
Quite good. As the two begin heading out of the theater and up to the fire escape on the second floor, and heading out towards the industrial district, talking the whole way, heading towards the last resort. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually Stefan and Thomas do arrive at the last resort. Stefan goes in through the front, comes on shift, and when the coast is clear, he goes back to the back room, lets Thomas in to hang out in that back room until it closes and the mortals are gone. And at that, the scene will fade to black.